Y'all come on in here. Come on up in here. Y'all come on. Find yourself a space in the place. Get yourself comfortable. We're going to wait on a few more folks to get here before we start. I encourage you to take notes. Get on up in here. Before we start, I bid everybody a grand rising. Shalom. All praise to the Most High. Come on up in here. Y'all get up in here. We're going to wait for a few more people. Got a few more that's on the way. If you have a friend who is not getting notifications, let them know. I'm going to wait just a few more minutes. I don't want to hold you too long for what I have to say. You probably didn't think you were going to get a morning mental, but you're going to get one this morning. Grand rising to everybody. So good to see y'all again. I'm going to wait. See a few people in the parking lot still trying to get in. A couple of people on their job need to get down to the bathroom. And I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait for you. I'm going to wait for you. A lot of people were not expecting a morning mental. So this is going to be a surprise morning mental for you. We got some things to take a look at. Grand rising to all of you. Grand rising. I'm going to ask that people please do not DM me right now. Please, if you are actually on here, I can tell who's just actually on the page and who's just hitting us as they pass through because they just drop something without realizing that I'm live right now. They have no clue that I'm live right now. So that tells me quite a few things. But for all my family, let's get up in here. There are no designated seats. Nobody has an assigned seat. You can tell somebody this is where I'm sitting. You can't tell me where to sit. Okay, we're going to wait a few more minutes as the word is slowly spreading that morning mental is going down this morning. Please do not DM me. Thank you very much. Still looking at the numbers, waiting for the numbers to go up. I don't have enough people in here to deliver this message as of yet. So I know y'all wasn't planning on getting a morning mental, so you shouldn't be in a hurry. But since I'm pulled up with a special delivery, special deliveries when they come knocking on your door and you didn't know they was coming. You say, I didn't order nothing. You didn't order this, but it's still yours. Yes, it is. We own the morning mental. And we got to go ahead, and this is a special edition of the Morning Mental. I am going to make a request on behalf of my organization that you do not screen record this and share it. If I see it out there, screen recorded and shared it, we're going to drag your ass into court. Because I've never said this before on my Morning Mentals. I've let you all screen record me. I've let you repost my material. But for this particular session, if you do that, you're going to get yourself in trouble. So please just listen to what I have to say, what we have to talk about, and then we are going to move on. Just do not come here clout chasing, trying to repost what I put up. That's going to be a wrong move for you this time. Business is very serious. Y'all get on up in here. We're still waiting. for another 200 folks that's still out in the parking lot, probably trying to find a phone, or, somebody getting told to shut up before they go in. So we're going to wait. A big shout out to everybody this morning. Grand rising to you. Grand rising to all of my sisters out there. It's making it happen on a daily basis. I know you haven't heard my voice in a while, and some of y'all need to hear this to understand that no one can determine who you are. You are what you are. I have asked people to not DM me. I'm going to start calling out some names if you don't stop, and then we're going to block you right up out of here, and you'll never be able to come back. And we know how a lot of y'all like a good show. Still waiting on a few more people. I encourage you to take notes this morning. This information is very important. This is a special announcement, and I'm glad that you could be a part of it. So let us go. First thing we're going to do is give all praise to the Most High. If you don't know who the Most High is, we're speaking of Yahweh, Yahuwah, Jehovah, Jehovah Jireh, Jehovah Nisi. The name goes on. El Shaddai. You can call him what you want. Just don't call him when it's too late. Still waiting on just a few more people. Don't worry, this is going to be, we're going to be here till we get the job done. Okay. And if you got somewhere else to be, just remember that was more important than the liberation of your own people. That's what it looks like right now. If there's something else that's more important to you than you actually getting out from under oppression, if there's something that's more important to you than you actually doing something about your freedom rather than just celebrating it every Juneteenth, if there's something that's more important to you than all of these young kids that are who are watching everything that we're doing, if there's something more important to you than your people, then, you can go ahead and log off right now. We thank you for coming. We really do. We thank you for coming. And we hope that whatever it is that that you're looking for, that you find it. But for right now, we only want to talk to the children of the Most High. We want to talk to the elect that are here. We want to talk to the righteous that have showed up. And then, of course, we want to talk to much folk that are here. We know much folk have showed up. Welcome, much folk. But we will begin here very shortly. The numbers are rising. Welcome to the Morning Mental. If you've never been to the Morning Mental, this is where I speak to you about what Yah has put on my heart and my mind this morning that he feels I should communicate to you. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And that's what we do here in the Morning Mental, is to give you something to think about as you go through your day. And I don't take credit for the Morning Mental. I didn't create the Morning Mental. He did. I didn't create me. He did. You didn't create you. Remember that. So don't get mad when you don't like what you see. You can't change it. All you can do is, you can put something on it, but you can't change it. We almost there. Welcome everybody. Grand rising to you. We are. Please do not DM me. This is the last time, y'all. Last time. Stay out of my DM. Okay? I don't care right now what you have to say. All what you have had to say has been said. Okay? There's no more for that. Grand rising to you. Welcome back. We missed you. We're so glad that you could make it back here. This is for my Morning Mental crew. The Morning Mental crew knows who they are. They are here every morning. When the Morning Mental rolls out, they go and they play it around their coworkers. They play it around the family members in their house that still are in the plantation. They play it around the house niggas. They play it around the jigaboos. They play it around all of them. Because they want them to know that I'm not like you. That's what they want you to know. I'd like to welcome all of my people from around the world that are tuned in. I do see the notifications. For all of the folks in the UK, and all of the folks in the Nzinga Garvey movement, shouting y'all out this morning. All of my people in the Pan-African French Resistance liberation organizations, I shout you out also. And also this morning, I want to shout out the Huey P. Newton Gun Club. Also the Fred Hampton Gun Club, also the Dark Riders. Let me shout you out real quick, lifting up these brothers that are doing what needs to be done on a daily basis. Don't let nobody confuse you. The coalition is strong. I want to come to y'all this morning, and we got to deal with three things. You know, my grandmother always told me that when you're doing something right, or if you're doing something right, you'll know it because people will, they'll have something to say. If you're doing something wrong, everybody's just going to laugh at you. But when you're doing something right, they're going to attack you. When you're doing something right, they're going to be afraid of you. When you're doing the right thing, you'll find out who your friends and family are real quick. When you're doing the right thing. So if I had to put a title on this morning mental, I think I will call it When You're Doing the Right Thing. Y'all stay with me. Look here. Y'all remember, and this is from all my students, this is not for all y'all who just heard of me, and that's the problem. You just heard of me, so you have no context of what the hell is going on. You just, I can't stand people who don't do their research before they open their mouth. If you don't do your research before you open your mouth, you make assumptions. Do I have to say it? Since I have young children who like to watch this show, I'll teach you. They don't, because all the adults know it. But when you assume, you make an ass out of you and me. Mm-hmm. So don't assume anything. Do your research. And if you come into a situation that's already going on, it will be smart to ask what's going on before you open your mouth. Now, in some instances, that's a smart thing to do, but most of the time it's very stupid. So I have to tell y'all about three groups of people that are here, because we know you're here. The first group of people, as I've told you all before, are those who have been here since the beginning, who are faithful to the Facts Over Feelings series and the morning mental that you're on right now with me, that you didn't think you were going to get. Oh, you got a surprise morning mental this morning. Oh, we about to unpack it up in this joint today. I'd like to wish you a grand rising to everyone. All praises to the Most High. Nothing happens unless He allows it. You wouldn't be here listening to me if He did not allow it. You wouldn't know your name if He did not allow it. You wouldn't even be able to suck in no air if He did not allow it. So we have to give Him the most praise, but at the same time, understand that you're where you supposed to be. So let us get into why we are here this morning, because it's the morning mental. Y'all know the rules of the morning mental. If you start talking sideways, my moderators will simply record your name and block you, so you'll be kicked out on the outside looking in. So the smart thing to do is to keep your mouth shut. This is a one-way conversation. I do not entertain fuckery, and I do not entertain the spirit of fear. I do not entertain that here in the morning mental. This is where whatever little bit of brain you got, you bring it with you. Whatever a little bit of spirit you got, bring it with you. If you got a little heart, bring that with you too. Because today we're gonna have to deal with a few things that have been floating through the congregation that we need to clear up. And then when we finish clearing it up, I'm gonna give y'all a special announcement. And then after I give you the special announcement, we're going to get back to the business at hand. So, moderators, watch the room. I'm pretty sure there's some racist folks in here. Please watch the room. We got some house slaves up in here. And please watch the room because we got some self-hating black folks up in here too. So please watch the room very carefully. And to all of the Edomites that have snuck in, you Neanderthals and you cave people that have slid up in here, we don't know who let you out, whose turn it was to watch you, but now that you're here, we want to make sure that you understand that you are not welcome here. Okay, you're not welcome. But since this is an open platform, you can hang around and ooh, ah, ah, all you want, but that you're going to get kicked out real quick too. Now, I want to tell y'all a story before we begin. I want to tell you a story about a young lady, black woman, born to a black family. Mm-hmm. Somebody's pride and joy. Yeah. Wasn't nothing special about it. Regular girl. Came up in the world like everybody else. Learned how to read, write, all the things we do. Walk, talk. Have friends, go through all of the pains and the discriminations and the glories of being a black woman in this country. Descendant of slaves, of people who still have never recovered from that. This woman did what a lot of women do. She had a life. She went to school, had a good job, helping people. That was her heart. She liked to help people. This woman would put her life on the line for people who were in distress. This woman was the type of woman that when she did her job, it wasn't guaranteed that she would survive doing her job. But she did it anyway because she had a good heart. And nobody's saying that this woman was perfect. None of us are perfect. As a matter of fact, any perfect people can log off right now too. But this woman never broke the law. No, never broke the law at all. Didn't say that she didn't know some people who broke the law, but she didn't break the law. Matter of fact, she worked along closely with the people who enforced the law. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You see, when the people who enforce the law, after they have shot you or leaned on your neck or choked you or tased you or injected you or, done something to you, she's the person that would come along and make it better for you. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. She's also the one that could tell if you were going to be okay. She could tell if you were going to be okay. Lady Rule, she was one of those people that, she was a nice person. If you got to know her, beautiful smile, sense of humor, but soldier at heart. She was a soldier at heart. This woman was in her home, sleep one night. You got to go to work tomorrow, like a lot of y'all. And this woman was with her boyfriend. Yeah, in her own home, minding her own business, protected, so she thought, under the security of the Constitution. And this woman and her boyfriend heard some noise. Someone was at the door in the middle of the night. The man, doing what the man should do, decides to protect this woman and himself. He goes down to see who's at the door. This brother was like this woman. This brother had never done anything wrong, had never broken the law. Did a good job. This man had a woman, and he wanted to protect his woman, so he had a gun, which was his legal right to own. There was nothing wrong with owning a gun. He grabbed his gun, go down here and find out who coming up in the house. Same thing a lot of us would have done. He goes downstairs, and his woman, feeling secure with her man, goes down with him. We get downstairs. Y'all know when we get downstairs, we got the lights turned off because we went to bed. You shut the house down. Unapologetic apology. She stood with her man as someone appeared to be coming in the house. When these people came into their home, there was gunfire. When it was all over, said and done, her man was still alive. Her man was wounded, but he was still there. The people that came in, they were still alive too. So maybe we could figure out what's going on. But unfortunately, this woman had been shot. If you've never been shot before, if you don't know what that feels like, if you've never been wounded before, if you don't know what that feels like, if you've ever had something happen to you that you didn't see coming, and you don't know what it feels like. Imagine this woman hit on the floor in her own home, a place she knows very, very well, looking at the ceiling. Made it down the hallway, but that was it. She lay there because she's the person that helps people. So she knows what needs to be done. But nobody helped her. Nobody helped her. This woman died. The soul that is within this woman's body left. The body could no longer sustain the soul. This woman, this black woman who had done nothing wrong, died in her own home. We found out about this after we all ran away to hide in our homes from a bogeyman we couldn't see. His name was COVID-19. COVID-19. Oh, y'all remember COVID-19. Don't act like y'all don't remember COVID-19. COVID-19 had y'all scared to death. COVID-19 had y'all being afraid of your own family members, sealing people up in rooms. COVID-19 was out to get you. COVID-19 cost you your job. COVID-19 became a pandemic. So we all hid. And then when we came crawling out of our caves like another group of people we know, we wanted just to get back to normal. Normal. The world before, like it was so great. A world where police brutality was at an all-time high. Normal. A place where we were seeing countries being invaded and raped and robbed by other countries. Normal, where the talk of war was on the lips of everyone because someone assassinated one of the key people in another country simply because they suspected them of something. You see, this killing of people simply because you suspected them of something seems to have become the norm, family. I'm on my morning mental. This woman had died. Normally when that happens, there's always something else that happens. Someone has to answer for the death of that individual. But somehow, that didn't happen. As news of this began to spread, people became upset. People became indignant. People became angry. People began to ask questions. People began to wonder, what the fuck's going on? But this woman was gone. So we would never get her side of the story. This woman had a name. Her name was Brianna. Bree. B. Baby Bree. Miss Taylor. Queen Taylor. Yeah, I'm going to say her name. Breonna Taylor. Little did Brianna know that her death would be the spark and the catalyst for one of the most significant moments in Black history in the last 60 years. We are so quick to remember some of the other folks that resulted in great moments in Black history, such as Emmett Till. Oh, we know the story. Mm-hmm. And most of y'all who are too young to remember that when they had his funeral, his mother requested that they keep the coffin open. The casket was open so that the world could see what they did to her little boy. It was on the cover of Jet magazine, Ebony magazine, the Black publications, you know, the Afro magazine, newspaper. I mean, it was, the world saw it. Life magazine picked it up. But for Breonna, there was no such thing. Because you see, Breonna happened while we were hiding from COVID-19. However, today, it is not hidden. The clock keeps ticking. And we get closer and closer to getting an answer to what exactly happened to Breonna Taylor. Who is exactly responsible for Breonna's death? Because we want that or those people to pay for it. Now, that is the reason. That is the purpose. That is the only factor that is the most important in this entire situation. But as usual, whenever Black people begin to get serious about something, the enemy likes to roll out the same old tools that it always rolls out. They don't even have a new playbook. And I used to criticize them for their playbook, but I don't criticize them anymore because it works every time on you all. It's almost like kryptonite. If you become too super, they roll out the kryptonite rock. There you go. And then you go back to what you was. And so they rolled out their standard tools as if we haven't learned our lesson. But then again, as we will soon prove, we have not. You see, you can't talk about, I want to be free if you're afraid of getting free. And you can't talk about, I'm awake. Yet as soon as something happens, you go back to sleep. You can't talk about that life when all you do is walk the path to death. And you can never say that I did if you never tried. So they rolled out their same old tools. And the number one tool that they rolled out, my favorite, is something that we speak about in the scriptures all the time. And people like to say, yes, they're talking about me. They roll out the good old friend. He's a friend of y'all. He comes out every now and then. He stops by your house. Matter of fact, he jumps in the car with you when the police pull you over. When you get caught in a lie by your other half, he shows up. When your mama catch you doing something you ain't got no business, he shows up. When someone says that they're going to do something to you and you know that there's nothing you can do about it, he shows up. We're talking about our old friend, the spirit of fear. Yep, the spirit of fear. Y'all know about the spirit of fear. The spirit of fear. He's a beast. The spirit of fear got a key to everybody's room. The spirit of fear has a key to everybody's heart. The spirit of fear moves in and hangs up a picture on the wall, pulls up an easy boy recliner and takes up residence in your mind. And if he takes up residence in your heart, you become a coward. Somebody say, talk, black man. The spirit of fear. Sometimes he hangs out with you, has a relationship with you. And for some reason, black people, he loves you. Oh, he's been loving you ever since you got off the slave ships. He met you when the slave master met you. Yeah, he met you in the bowels of the slave ships. He met you. He hung out with you. Sisters, he hung out with you too. Yes, he did. But he didn't hang out with you until you saw what was happening to your black men. Because you were so used to your black men protecting you and being warriors. You were so used to your black men being fearless and charging headfirst into danger. You were used to the real black man. But then when you saw what they did to the black man, the spirit of fear poured up on you and said, hey, I'm an equal opportunity employer. Let me help you out. This is how it rolls. Make sure you tell your sons that I'm their friend now, because I can keep them from some, as long as they're afraid, won't nothing happen to them. We people, we family. A lot of y'all fell for that. And that's how they controlled you for 246 years. For almost 3 centuries, they enslaved you and they controlled you with fear. Slave catchers, the slave catchers, they will catch you and they try to intimidate you with fear. You know how like when the police pull up and they try to intimidate you because they wearing some clothes and got some shit wrapped around their waist? It's fear. The most dangerous thing in the world is a man who has no fear. The most dangerous thing in the world is a woman who has no fear. The most dangerous thing in the world is a child who has no fear whatsoever. We on my morning mental this morning. You better tell somebody it's on, because I wasn't supposed to come back. But there is a book out there, as long as we're speaking of books, there are certain books out there. I won't give you the names. I don't want to steer you down the dark path, but there are certain books out there that if you read them out loud, it is said that you will summon certain spirits. And those spirits, when they show up, you got to give them something. And if you don't give them what they're supposed to get, they take you as the payment. The spirit of fear is cool. The spirit of fear has a great program. It doesn't demand a whole lot. You don't have to pay them a whole lot. All you got to do is let them live in you. That's all they ask. The spirit of fear is just looking for a home. So the spirit of fear shows up. And people are funny when they're afraid, because nobody wants to appear afraid. You see, the spirit of fear likes to be your side piece. Spirit of fear doesn't want anyone to know that y'all are dating. Okay. The spirit of fear will say, well, let's just look like, we'll put on another mask. Okay. So the spirit of fear may masquerade as courage, but I taught y'all the other night when I taught about courage that it says lack of fear is not courage. Acting, even when the spirit of fear shows up, is courage. And sometimes you would be surprised who has courage and who doesn't. Someone you think is very strong and very, very determined, you would think that person that's the person that's going to protect me. Like the brother who tried to protect Brianna. He was brave, did not know what he was facing. Even if he was afraid, he knew that you bought that gun, and now tonight you're going to have to use it, partner. The spirit of fear can masquerade itself as someone who appears brave. They can masquerade someone as someone who's telling you something for your own good, when really they just don't want you to do something that they're afraid of. The spirit of fear will come at you in the form of family members who will try to beat you down because they're afraid to do what they see you doing. The spirit of fear will make people who look like you attack you for no reason, because they're afraid that what you're doing is going to expose their lack of doing nothing ever. And that's the spirit of fear. The spirit of fear will make people who see you beginning to move on what Yah has told you to do. They're afraid because if you do that, you're going to expose them for falsely preaching the word with inaction. You will know them by their works. You will know them by their fruit. You will know them by the things that they do, not by the things that they say, even if all they're saying are my words. You will know them. And when it says know them, you must understand the origin of the word know. To know means to be intimate with someone. He knew his wife and they bore a child. So when someone says you will know them by their works, It says, look at their actions. Don't go on what they say all the time. They can talk to you, but if they have the spirit of fear, then that means that they're only going to talk. And it is written, I did not give you the spirit of fear, which raises the question, if I didn't give you the spirit of fear, who did? If you're children of mine, if you are the elect, if you are the chosen, then you know you hear your Father's voice. But if you have the spirit of fear, then who's your daddy? Remember, only his children hear his voice. Many will be called. Few will be chosen. Everybody want to get on the team till it's time to play ball. Everybody's a gangster till it's time to be a gangster. And everybody who owns a gun talk about what they're going to do with it until it's time to do something with it. So the spirit of fear appears to have showed up because it's comfortable amongst black folks. But when you are walking in purpose, when you are doing what the Most High has told you to do, he told you, ignore those fools. Don't let men's faces scare you. You keep going because I am with you. You see, our problem is we put too much faith in ourselves. We don't understand that at the end of the day, we're all just meat puppets. We're just puppets. And some of us are being controlled by other strings. Oh, y'all know what I'm talking about. I'm gonna pause here for a minute on this surprise morning mental. I'm looking at the numbers. I can tell you right now, this is one of the most interrupted live streams on Instagram. And for all of you all who are what I call much folk, you don't even know what's happening. You have no idea what the magnitude of what has happened because you just showed up because it got popular. But there are those of us who've been here for almost 7 months here on the Morning Mentals, on the Facts Over Feelings, learning from the first book of Enoch with Yahweh's name restored, the book of Yasher, the book of Jubilee. We've had our heads deep in the scriptures. We've learned to throw off the slave master's church. We don't think like a bunch of slaves up in here. You cannot scare us with the big old spook in the sky. We are not those people. We've been here for a minute and you just showed up. And you didn't show up because you came because you're curious about what we've been learning and why we're enlightened. You came for the mess. You came for the gossip. You came because you're much folk. See, much folk, they don't belong to this group or any other group. They just travel around from page to page looking for garbage. Unfortunately, you cannot teach in the presence of the Most High and entertain garbage at the same time. Additionally, you cannot come into the presence of here on Morning Mental and think that for 2 seconds we don't see your black heart. We do, because of the simple fact that we are aligned with the Most High. He says he tries your heart, doesn't try your mind, even though your mind is the battlefield. He tries your heart. You're not going to have to atone with what's in your mind when you go to judgment. You're going to have to atone what's in your heart. We all have to answer for this classroom that we're in. And I've taught this before. And for all of the young folks that the woman went to her mother and said, Mom, can I watch the morning mental? And she says, baby, it ain't gonna be no morning mental for a few days because they're out doing things. They're out by the fruits of their work is what they're doing. They're not talking right now. They're saying be silent and watch what they do, not listen to what they say. That's what he said. But for all of you all that claim to be believers, for all of you all who claim to be so learned, for all of you all who can speak all these different languages and make everyone else sound like they're stupid, when the fact of the matter is you're just happy you learned something because you got something to cling to now. So now you want to run around and tell everybody else like they don't know anything when you too used to be just like that, but you've forgotten that. Now something is coming. I kept telling y'all something was coming. And a lot of y'all were thinking we were talking about a comet or a meteor. No, What's coming is the storm. The storm. And it's coming. The winds are blowing right now. Skies are clouding up. Lightning flashing. A little bit of thunder in the distance. On the morning mental. Mm-hmm. And a lot of y'all are acting like you're scared. And you have to ask yourself, what you scared of? You ain't did nothing. What you scared of? You ain't gonna bust a grape in a fruit fight, so what you scared of? What you're scared of is what's written. And that is that in the last days, you're gonna have to step your game up in order to continue to be considered one of the righteous or the elect or the chosen. And if he starts to step his game up and she starts to step her game up, you're going to look real obvious to everybody. In other words, you will be exposed. I was always taught, be careful of what people accuse you of. They're accusing you of what they would do if they were in your situation. Y'all going to trust him with all that money? He might be a thief. You're a thief. We can't do that. He's going to get us killed. No, you would get us killed. I don't trust that, bruh. No one can trust you, and you know it. Can I talk in here for a second to y'all? So you have to be careful when people start to project who they are onto someone else. However, if you are having a side piece relationship with the spirit of fear, then they're going to give you just what you need. Fear loves that. Ooh, look, ooh, something to be, ooh, let's go get scared together. Come on, we ain't doing nothing better. Let's go get scared. Ooh. Meanwhile, the chosen, the elect, and the righteous are doing just what they did in Jericho. Already know that they're outmatched. Already know that there's a big wall. Already know that there's a powerful army. They knew all these things going in. But they still had something on their side. They didn't have the spirit of fear. There was no room in the car for them to ride. And they still prevailed. In the middle of all of this, we forgot something. You forgot something. In the middle of all of this back and forth, Brianna got lost. You forgot about Brianna. You're so busy talking about everything but Brianna. Don't you see they've shifted the narrative on you dumb motherfuckers once again? They keep playing the same magic trick on you black folks over and over again. And yes, they use some of your own people to do it. And some people will put that much energy into putting together all kind of stuff to take you away from what we were focusing on. Breonna Taylor. And, ooh, look, some shiny over here. Ooh, let's go over there. Hey, you heard about this? And then some people have seen it as an opportunity to do what they've been doing to you already. They're parasites. They're leeches. They're coons, as you call them. They're traitors to your race. They eat off you. They take your money, and they lie to you. And then, when they see you're about to stand up, they try to turn you against the very thing that's standing you up. I try to imagine, my friends, what it was like in the 60s when all of these different factions began to arise that wanted to liberate black people. They all had the same goal, but they thought about doing it different ways. And even sometimes they fought amongst themselves. But the beauty of that whole episode was they eventually achieved the goal. You see, a lot of y'all are not educated. You've been brainwashed again. They want you to believe that one person is responsible for everything that you enjoy today. They want you to believe that Martin Luther King is the reason that you all got the Civil Rights Bill. That's a lie to the depths of hell. There were a bunch of people that were working in different ways that forced the U.S. government to pass that bill. There were some folks that took more radical steps. There were folks who thought that they could kumbaya their way. And there were folks who wanted to rely on the old church law, the slave church of God to get them out of it. But they all had the same goal, and it worked. Many times, and I want to send a big shout out in the grand rising to all of the members of the NFAC that are on this live right now. All of you all know we've talked in our own ways, and I have warned you all before to be careful of traitors, infiltrators. The U.S. government has done this before. It's called Operation COINTELPRO, where they had people who look like us or look some like us or that we was cool with to infiltrate us and to start drama amongst us and cause us to fight each other and then implode and go away. And then they attack. See, when you're infected with the disease, can I teach in here? When you're infected with a disease, if you ever watch, and here we go, Mutual Omaha Wild Kingdom. Y'all, young kids don't know about this. I've talked about this before, where they go out and they observe wildlife. You can watch this on the Animal Channel. If you ever notice that when they're hunting the herd, they never go after the strongest one. They go after the one that is diseased, the one that is in a weakened state, or they go after the young because they're inexperienced, or they go after the very, very elderly one. They go after them. They never go after the strong ones. When you're talking about a race of people that's strong like we are, if we can put a disease inside of them, then they're weakened, and then we can beat them. So anytime an organization or a movement or a desire or some type of resolution comes out of the Black community, it has always been the tactic of those who don't want to see you. They will turn around and try to inject a disease into you and cause you to, like a cancer. Big shout out to all my cancer patients out there. It's going to be all right. But they inject this cancer into you, and then the system implodes from the inside, and then they attack. Well, it didn't take them long to get the cancer going, did it? But we have a thing for those of us who actually went to school called context. When you take something out of context to fit a pretext for your text, you go right back to making an ass out of yourself. So let me deal with a couple of things this morning, because what I'm going to do next, I have a special announcement. Oh, yes, I'll hang around. Don't go nowhere. You got nothing better to do. This is the best story on TV right now. This is what's unfolding in front of you is real history. And history will record all the characters that played a part in this. Think about it. We talk about Uncle Sam and Sambo all the time, don't we? All the time. But a lot of y'all don't know that you got it twisted. You're quick to call a person who is selling out the black man an Uncle Tom, when the truth of the matter was Sambo was the one who sold out the black man, because this black man was protecting the black people. So you should call him a Sambo, not an Uncle Tom. Uncle Tom was actually the hero of the story. But the white man don't want you to remember none of your heroes, so they twist the story. Think about how this story is going to be told 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 150 years from now. Who's going to be the heroes and who's going to be the traitor? Well, it depends on who's telling the story, because they're going to take it out of context to fit a pretext for the text they'll teach to you. Everything that someone teaches you comes from a certain context. Now, if you are a fan of facts over feelings, or if you're a morning mental regular, then you know that just like now, we talk for quite some time. It's easy for someone to take something out of context. But I've told you once before, doing that will set you up for the spirit that is floating around, and that is the spirit of karma. And we're living in 2020, hindsight vision. Crystal clear, numerically sound. So let me address a couple things. Breonna Taylor is the only reason that the NFAC is going down to Louisville, Kentucky this weekend. That's it. Nothing else is more important. Nothing else matters. You see, we haven't forgotten Breonna, but a lot of you have. A lot of you, grand rising to you too, a lot of you have forgotten and taken your eyes off of the prize. Breonna Taylor is the prize. But the spirit of fear showed up. Some of y'all outside in the car with him right now doing something you ain't got no business. Breonna Taylor is waiting on you. Breonna Taylor is crying out from the grave. Breonna Taylor is looking at you, black people. Because of Breonna Taylor's death becomes nothing more than a side piece or a side show to all the other stupidity that's going on. Then not only have they gotten away with murder, but we spit on her grave. You all need to focus, Black nation. You cannot have someone with a spirit of fear in your face and forget whose face we should be remembering. Y'all say y'all ain't gonna take it no more, but you're taking it. Y'all screaming no justice, no peace, but you seem to be more interested in justice without anything behind that. If you hate your race, you show it in a lot of ways. Some of you all will say that I hate all black women, so I'm going to go and only date white women. Now, someone can take what I just said and cut that out and use it out of context. You see what I'm getting at? It's easy to cut out what someone says to support a flawed argument, when the truth is you're having an orgy with the spirit of fear and its cousins. You're a coward, and you think that you can get away with it and nothing will ever happen to you. You see, you have to be careful when you keep knocking on the devil's door, because sooner or later, someone will answer. And I would much salute to all my friends in Jamaica, Haiti. Love you. See, you don't always know who's going to open the door. It might be the devil himself sometimes, not one of his representatives. So be careful when you knock on that door, because the spirit of fear is just like someone who cheats on their spouse or cheats on their boyfriend or girlfriend. When they get caught, they will leave you high and dry. The spirit of fear will leave your ass when karma shows up. And for y'all who've never heard this, karma is a dish like revenge that's best served cold. Y'all got to lose the spirit of fear, because Breonna is waiting on you, black nation. Breonna Taylor died unjustly, no matter how it's explained. We as a people need to stand together and stop this same old spirit of fear, slave master trained into your ass, attacking each other bullshit that we're doing. Now, y'all know I told y'all I'm neighborhood. I'm not Hollywood. Yes, I've been a lot of things in my life, but those people never left. They're still in here. So please, please don't give me an excuse to let him out. I'm happy with what I've become, and I like it because I'm doing his will. But don't forget. Oh, don't forget. A lot of y'all got to go where I've already been. Now, I want to talk a little bit, Brianna, if you don't mind, if I have clearance from you, love. They're making accusations because they're afraid. I'm an agent. When I just found out that someone in my organization actually was a paid FBI informant. Yes, we found that out. In fact, we were infiltrated and we had an FBI informant that was actually with us out at Stone Mountain. Yeah. And once this person got exposed, they turned tail and ran and went undercover. They're gone. But that's okay. We'll find them. But an agent. Agents don't do what I do. Agents talk. Agents don't do, I'm going to say it again, what I do. But that's the spirit of fear. You want to talk about an agent? I caught one last night. An FBI paid informant. That's how serious this is. So if they're paying people to infiltrate us, don't you think they have paid informants that talk to you publicly? Haven't you ever wondered about the gatekeepers? Haven't you ever wondered why someone who's always so quick to tell you what's wrong with us and what's hidden from us, but never does anything to erase those blinders? Haven't you begun to wonder why they've become so vocal? Haven't you wondered why? And then you wonder why they take something out of context. Let me state for the record, I have not joined with the Boogaloo Boys or the 3%ers or any of these groups. I simply informed you that they sent me an olive branch. And I simply told them that I can't stop them from showing up in a city. They can do whatever the fuck they want to do. But that does not mean we're joined. And for you all to even buy into that tells me how much you know about NFAC, how much you know about me. I know who much folk are now, and I know who really knows me. And for you to believe that for 2 seconds, you can log off now too, because you're fake and you're having a relationship with the spirit of fear, and we don't need you. Everyone who bought into that I'm an agent, after all I've shown you and all I've done, and all I've taught you, because he has allowed me to, for you to even entertain that thought shows that you are no different than the slaves who lived out in the master slave house out in the plantation. Yes, I love you too. So you need to go ahead with that. I'm going to say it again. You want me to tell you what I am? I'm your worst fucking nightmare. Because I love my people. Even if you don't, I'm your worst goddamn nightmare. Because not only do I talk the talk, I walk the walk. And for all you pussy ass punk, I'm going to use the language you understand, you pussy ass punk bitch made niggas, I'm your worst nightmare. We're going to take a break and then I'm going to come back. Y'all let your friends know we in the morning mental this morning. Shalom. Block the people that I said block so they can't get back in.